Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review. I'm looking at this, the Mizuno M Craft Type 1 putter. Now the reason I picked this up for you guys is because I'm a massive fan of Mizuno. I really am. You know, I've got their irons in the bag currently, the MP20 HMBs, that even though they are a few years old now, perform amazingly and feel great. I've had their drivers in the bag before. You know, I just currently tested the STG 440, which is brand new for this year, so check out my channel for that. Again, a great feeling driver. And I think with their drivers and their woods, they've been massively underrated over the years. I mean, Keith Mitchell this year is one of the longest out there at the moment for driving distance, and he plays a Mizuno. Then you go into their wedges. You know, I personally never tried any of the wedges, but supposedly they perform, they look good, and they feel great. So I wanted to see if it's the same with their putters. I mean, they've been actually out of the game for 7 years before they brought this out in 2020. So I'm interested to see if, you know, quality wise, they're still that high quality Mizuno product. They still feel great like everything else from Mizuno does. And obviously, do they perform? So that's why I picked this up. So as always, we're going to have a closer look at the club, which I'm not going to lie, look at that. It's a bit dark over here in the UK at the moment, but look at that. It's a thing of absolute beauty. I really wanted this to go in the bag. I'll discuss it later, but it's not quite right for me. Well, blades aren't really quite right for me. And I'll discuss that when I'm down the course, because I've also taken this out for 18 holes on the golf course. So as I mentioned before I got sidetracked by that, we'll have a closer look at the club. Then we'll come back in here, go through all the technology. Then I will show you some clips from Hersham where I went down and played 18 holes with this. Get back here for the ACS golf scale, and then I'll basically tell you my overall thoughts about this club. Also, before we have a look, remember guys, if you're a returning viewer or if you're brand new and you enjoy what I'm doing, subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, welcome back. Good to see you. All right, let's have a closer look at, let's be honest, this piece of absolute beautiful artwork, I personally think. Anyway, let's have a closer look at the club. So there you go, a closer look at the club, and what a thing of beauty this is. That sort of classic ping shape from all the way back in the day. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, love it. Now, moving on into technology. So first things first, absolute precision. So forged and CNC milled from a 1025 mild carbon steel for incredible precision and feel. Deep face milling creates a softer feel and pure roll. So obviously milled face, lovely, normally implies a very soft feel. One thing I will say, I've looked at quite a few reviews about this club, and they say the milling isn't as deep as they sort of suggest, which means it's not necessarily as soft as it, you know, another milled club would be, but we'll discuss that later when we go for the ACS golf scale. So heavyweight stability at a weighty 355 grams, Encroft's head promotes a fluid, rhythmical putting stroke. Great if you like that heavier putter, which some people do. You know, can help to stabilize it and just keep that face straight. So that's great. Now this is a cool thing they did actually. The next bit, additional weight kit. So includes 2 gram weight, two 3 gram weights, sorry, two 13-gram weights to be interchanged with the 8-gram fitted weight. Allows the M-Craft to adjust to a variety of putting conditions. So there you go. You've got the 8 grams in there, and then it comes with this cool little box. This is great. And there you go, Mizuno down the side, and then there you go, a little fitter there and further weight. So you got the 3 grams, and then you got the 3 grams at the bottom there, and the 13 at the top, and the 8 is in this cup. So the idea is obviously you can lighten this club if you need to. So put the 3 grams over the 8. You can make it heavy if you need to, 13 grams over 8. So maybe perhaps if you're playing in the summer and the greens are rapid, you know, you want that lighter club because you don't want to hit it as fast. You can put the 3 grams in, or if it's middle of winter and it's an absolute bog, you want a heavier club to really help with the power. You can increase the grams, and obviously then you could play around with putting different weights in different sections. Maybe you swing, you know, to help balance out your own sort of swing. But I think that would be something you need to get fitted for, because you could end up making horrible mistakes. So do be aware with that. But I think that's a great feature there. that comes with every club. So I would always say, if you're purchasing one of these, make sure that still comes with it. Okay, now on to white, satin, blue iron or black iron. So different finishes. So they had 3 finishes. I had the black iron here. You had the white satin, which is sort of more in a silver color, and then the blue iron, which is sort of standard, Mizuno blue, which looks lovely. Finish wise, I don't know how long those finishes are going to last, to be honest. I haven't heard or seen anything that implies that they go very quickly. So nothing necessary to worry about there. And then moving on, you've got a Patch M Craft head cover. So basically, there you go. Premium quality Mizuno classic staff colours and embolised with a leather M Craft mark. There you go. So very nice premium head cover there. Can't complain with it. The grip as well, normally you do get a Mizuno grip with this. Obviously buying this second hand, which I have done. Someone's put a Super Stroke one on it. Personally, I prefer it when you keep the actual grip on it, because it's, the whole point is it is for the balancing of the club. That's why they do it. But if you go somewhere professional, I'm sure they can match it out perfectly to get the grip change, which, to be fair, taking this out of the course, this was definitely done by a professional, because it's lined up right and the balance of this was actually very good. So there you go. Now, just before I sort of move on and also get down to the course, I'm going to go quickly through the other models that they had here, because this is only one. So they released 3 in 2020, then they released another 3 in 2021, and then they released the MOIs last year in 2022. Did they release in 2023? No, 2022. They definitely released in 2022. And with them, they only had 3 models. So the M-Craft actually had more options. I don't know if they're going to release any new models coming up, but currently I know MOI, it's only 3. So you had the M-Craft 1, which is a square back with a mid-slant neck with max toe hang, suited to an exaggerated putting arc. As I mentioned before, and I'll mention again when I'm on a course, this isn't really suited for me. I actually have very much a straight line putting motion, which is more suited to mallets. So yes, so did it necessarily perform how I wanted to perform? Not really, because of that, but we'll go further into that. I'm spoiling how it went for me. Discuss that later. Okay, and then you had the M-Craft 2, which was a classic heel toe with a plumber's neck with a mid-toe hang, matching a moderate putting arc. Again, very much same sort of feature like this, maybe even a little bit smaller, to be fair. Like, rather than here, we got the square features here, it's more rounded and even more sort of classic ping answer, or classic Scotty Cameron Newport look. Then you had the M-Craft 3, which is a face balanced mid mallet, suitable for golfers with less putting arc. There you go, more suited for me in my sort of straight stroke. And that was 2020 editions. Then in 2021, they released more. So you had the M-Craft 4, which is slant neck, deep square back, moderate toe hang, suited to a moderate putting arc. So, your standard sort of square back where you have a sort of blade looking club and it just comes further back to add that little bit more weight. Then you had the M-Craft V, so 5, which is a mid slant neck toe heel, deep mallet, slight toe hang for a gentle arc. There you go. And then this one, which is probably more suited for me, the M-Craft 6. I don't want to say VI because that's how it's written here in Roman numerals, but M-Craft 6, face balance, wing mallet, heavier at 371 grams for a straight back and through stroke, which is my stroke. And it's why I actually have a wing mallet in the back at the moment. So there you go. But anyway, so there were all the other options you could get with the M-Craft, and you can still go out and buy these actually brand new. But moving on from that, let's now get down to the course. I'll discuss the performance of it with you guys, and then we'll get back in here for the ACS golf scale. All right, see you in a bit. So here I am down at Hersham on the course with this Mizuno putter, because to be honest, it's such a beautiful club. I really wanted to give it a go for the 18 holes to see if it would go in my bag. Now, normally blades don't work for me because my putting stroke is very much a straight stroke, which is more suited for mallets, while blades tend to be more of an arc for people with an arc stroke. So straight off the bat, not going to help me massively, but
I wanted to still give it a go. Now let's get on to the feel of this putter first. So for me, it wasn't soft, it was a little bit more firm, which is quite surprising because it is a milled face, but I believe the mill is quite shallow, it's not that deep. So not the end of the world. I'd say it's more sort of firm soft than soft. So if someone really likes a soft putter and they go for that milled, sort of really soft, you'll be surprised by this. I would avoid it. However, with that little bit firmer face, it meant that my distance control was really good. So I was hitting the ball past the holes, which was great because I hate leaving it short. So I was really happy with that. Now, moving on to alignment. Obviously with a blade you don't have that alignment aid there like you do with a mallet, so I really did struggle to line this putter up. I did try and use the ball, but whenever I use the ball I always second guess myself. So unfortunately there were quite a few putts I missed left or right, which I normally wouldn't miss. I think there was one where I was right by the hole at the beginning there and I kept on missing it left and then right, and I just couldn't get it in even though it was less than a foot in. So really struggled with that, but that's down to me and my stroke and also with how I line the ball up, so nothing to do with the putter there. Balance of the putter, it's very well balanced. You can tell it's a quality item, which is not surprising. The fact that it is Mizuno and they do make quality stuff, so very happy with that. And then when it comes down to forgiveness, like the forgiveness of the ball wasn't that bad, to be fair. Even though with a blade it tends to be less forgiving than a mallet, don't get me wrong, it's not as forgiving as a mallet, it's still pretty good. I found that my sort of off-centered hits still went the distance, they weren't that much shorter. So generally very happy with the performance of the club. As much as personally I would love to put this in the bag because I think it looks amazing, I don't think blades are for me.
So there you go. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy taking this out on the course because it is a thing of beauty, but it just doesn't match my putting stroke, unfortunately. And you could tell by the results, some of those, even though I only showed a couple of holes there, you could see that a few of them I was quite annoyed about missing. So it is what it is, unfortunately, but it doesn't mean that it's not a good putter and not right for someone out there who has that arc stroke. So let's get into the ACS golf scale. First one, distance. NA. Never do distance for a putter because in the end of the day, it's a putter. You're not bashing it off the tee. I say that, there's quite a few videos at the moment of people hitting these off the tee. But anyway, let's move on from that. Getting on to feel. So, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I did say, even though this is a milled face, which normally implies a softer feel, it's not as deep as you'd necessarily hope. So, feel-wise was good, as I mentioned, but it was firm soft, I'd say, rather than soft that Mizuno said earlier on. I'd say firm soft. So feel-wise, I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5. Not the worst thing in the world, 100%, still felt very nice. But if you're looking for, a milled face, very soft putter, this isn't the one for you. 3.5 firm, soft, still feels great, but not the softest thing I've ever felt. So that's why I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5. But then sometimes that firmer feel does help with distance control, which I've mentioned as well when out on the golf course. It just helped make sure that I could get past that hole rather than coming in short, which I hate. So there you go. Not the softest thing in the world. I'd have preferred that milling probably a little bit deeper to soften it up a bit, but that's just my preference. Someone out there watching this, you might prefer a little bit harder putter, and then this could be perfect for you. So there you go. Looks, 4.5 out of 5. Absolutely love it. It looks gorgeous. I think the whole way, the Mizuno at the back, there you go, and the M Craft. It's a flying bird. I always forget it's a flying bird. The flying bird, the bottom as well. It's just a very beautiful putter. So I'm going at 4.5 out of 5. I think it looks absolutely great. And if I could actually use it, as in if it was right for me, then it's definitely be going in a bag because it's a piece of artwork. And that's what I like when I come down to putters. You know that I collect things, as you can see behind me, and it's all about the way they look sometimes. And this just looked gorgeous. Now, don't get me wrong, it didn't necessarily look like it gave me much confidence or forgiveness, but it still looked gorgeous. And don't get me wrong, I still got some lovely putts on there. On the 17th, I had a long putt for par, saving par, because I was in a bunker and I made it like really long. Would have been taking that putt 100 times out of 100. It was awesome. And then managed to save myself a bogey as well with it actually on the last hole. Again, a very long putt. Um, After I'd hit my driver into the woods. It's a narrow hole. Probably should have played a fairway wood, but anyway. Um, so there you go. You know, it's not right for me, but I did make some lovely putts with it. And looks wise, it is gorgeous. Moving on now into forgiveness. So forgiveness, remember this is a blade. So what tends to happen with off hits with the blade is they still stay true, but they tend to lose speed and not go as far. While with a mallet, if you tend to miss the face of the mallet, it still tends to go the distance, but you either push it left or right. What I found with this is forgiveness is pretty good. I'd say 3 out of 5. You know, it's not as forgiving as a mallet. That's the whole point of a mallet, because obviously there's less weight behind this. But I thought it was pretty good. So 3 out of 5 for me. Generally happy with it. I didn't find any bad hits were massively short. Um, so yeah, 3 out of 5. I think if you're looking for a blade, I think this is just forgiving as any others out there, to be honest. So there you go. Now on to the main bit, the price. So price for me, I've given this a 3.5 out of 5. Now, that's okay. It's not great. So you can get this brand new still for under £200, £199, just under around $250 over here in the UK. Well, £200 over here in the UK, which is about $250 if you're watching elsewhere in the world. Golf clubs for cash from a second-hand store. You can pick it up for around £120, which is around $150. On eBay, you're looking around the same price as golf clubs for cash. I've seen them go for around that £100 mark, and then maybe even up to £130, depending on the condition of it, which is around the $160 mark, because there's not that many out there, and they are seen as a little bit of a premium product. Don't get me wrong. Brand new, I think these came out at 260. I think the new model's around 260. So it's not a Scotty Cameron, it's not a Toulon, it's not a Bertinardi, it's not at that price range, which are now topping the 300 marks. But it's not an Odyssey. You know, your normal Odyssey is around the mid 100s. It's sort of in the middle. So they're trying to bridge the gap, you know, create that little market there for someone who wants a premium product but doesn't want to pay a premium price. And have they done that? That is the question. Now, price wise, in the moment, if you're going second hand, like I said, it's 3.5 out of 5. But have they created that premium product in that middle sort of price range? And personally, I say they have. I think they have. I mean, annoying, I don't have the grip on this, but the head covers, you know, pretty premium. You get a box of weights and it looks great. Don't get me wrong, I know the feel is a little bit harder than I personally would want, but that's just me down to preference. I think they have. I think, you know, this in the bag looks like a premium putter and you're not quite paying that premium price. And that's the thing. That's why I've given it 3.5 out of 5, because I could have said 2.5. It is what it is, but it's a little bit cheaper than saying the Scotty or Bertinardi in the second-hand market, all brand new, definitely brand new. Does it feel as nice as them? Personally, no, but this is, in my eyes, a premium putter. And the brand new ones, the OMIs, which I want to get my hand on, have even better reviews. So I think Mizuno have done what they wanted to do. I think they've successfully made relatively premium putter and they priced it right. I think if they put this price up the same as a Scotty Cameron, then I think they would have been blown out of the water, because for me, Scotty Cameron feels better off the face. You know, maybe looks a little bit more premium, maybe a touch. But I think the price point they've gone for, I think, works for the putter. So, you know, if you want that premium product, if you don't want to pay a premium price, it's a great option out there for you guys to look at. So I think that sums up my general review of this club. A premium product at a less premium price. That's how I would describe these Mizuno putters. So do keep an eye out for them if you never tried them. I do think they're great. You know, I like the way it comes with the weights, and I think they're absolutely gorgeous. And I might look out for the M Craft one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my putter at the moment, but maybe look out for the M Craft 6, see if I can have a go with that, because that would definitely be more suited to my style. Um, so yeah, I might keep an eye out for that and see if I can pick it up one day. But anyway, there you go. There's my review of the M Craft Mizuno putter, specifically the one. Great putter, just unfortunately not for me. Okay, guys, remember, if you like this video, do give it a like. Remember to comment down below if you played Mizuno putters. What do you guys think of them? Maybe you played the older ones back in the day, 7 years ago. Because I remember Bert and Ardy used to actually be partnered with Mizuno as well. So let me know if you've tried them. And do remember to subscribe to the channel, guys, so you do not miss out on weekly reviews, versus videos, which I've released and have a few coming up. You want to put club versus club, and also some new equipment, such as this Big Bertha as well, that will be coming out soon on a Friday. Okay, guys, I'll catch you, well, soon for the next ATS Golf video. See you then.